Good evening, viewers. So today we will going to discuss about political party and party system. Okay. So what is political party? Political parties are voluntary associations or organized group of individuals who share the political views and who try to gain political power through constitutional means and who desire to work for promoting the national interest. Okay. So there are four types of political parties in modern democratic state. First one is the reactionary parties which cling to old socio-economic and political institutions. Then second one is conservative parties which believe in the status quo, and third one is liberal parties which aims at reforming the existing institutions. Okay, and fourth one is radical parties which aim at establishing a new order by overthrowing the existing institutions. Okay, so in their classifications of political parties on the basis of ideological differences. Okay, on the basis of ideologies, the political parties or the political scientists have played the radical parties, the left and the liberal parties in the center, and reactionary and conservative parties on the right. Okay, in other words, they are described as the leftist parties, certain parties certain parties are grouped like rightist parties. Okay, so in India, the CPI, CPM are the example of leftist parties, and the Congress of centrist parties, and the BJP is an example of rightist parties. Okay, so there are three kinds of party system in the world. First one is one party system in which only one ruling party exists and no opposition is permitted. Okay, for example, in the former communist countries like the USSR and other East European countries. Okay, then second one is two-party system. Okay, in which two major parties exist, as for example, in USA and Britain. Okay, and third one is multi-party system in which there are a number of political parties leading to the formations of coalitions government, as for example France, Switzerland, Italy, India. Here they practice the system of multi-party systems. Okay, so now we'll discuss about some characteristics and features of party system. Okay, so first part features is multi-party system, or first characteristics is multi-party system. The continental size of the country, the diversified character of Indian society, the adoption of universal adult franchise, the peculiar type of political process, and other factors have given rise to a large number of political parties. In fact, India has the largest number of political parties in the world. Okay, on the eve of 16th Lok Sabha general election 2014, there were 6 national parties and 47 state parties and 1593 registered unrecognized parties. Okay, in the country. Okay, further, India cell has all the categories of parties. Okay, left parties, centralist parties, rightist parties, communal parties, non-communal parties, and so on. Okay, so consequently, the huge parliamentarian, huge assemblies, and coalition government have become a common phenomena. Okay, this is the first characteristics of party system in which is prevailing in India. Okay, then second one is one dominant party system. Okay, in spite of the multi-party system, the political thing in India was dominated for a long period by the Congress. Okay, hence Rajni Kothari, an eminent political analyst, preferred to call the Indian party system as one party dominance system. Okay, the Congress system. Okay, the dominant positions enjoyed by the Congress has been declined since 1967. Okay, with the rise of regional party and other national parties. Okay, like Janta, which is came in the year 1977, and the Janta Dal, which is came in 1989, and the BJP, which is came in 1991, and leading to the development of a competitive multi-party system. Okay, the next one is lack of clear ideology. Except the BJP and the two communist parties like CPI and CPM. Okay, all other parties do not have a clear-cut ideology. Okay, that is all other parties. Okay, they are ideologically close to each other. Okay, that means similar types of ideologies they follow. They have a close resemblance in their policies and programs. Okay, almost every party advocate democracy, secularism, and socialism and Gandhism. Okay, so more than this, every party, including the so-called ideological parties, is guided by only one consideration's power capture. Okay, thus political politics has become issue based rather than the ideology, and pragmatism has replaced the commitment to the principles. Okay, so any party except our communist parties like CPI and CPM, there is a what lack of ideological dominance, or they follow in one type of political ideological patterns. Okay, so next one is personality cult. Quite often, the parties are organized around an eminent leader who becomes more important than the party, okay, and its ideology. Parties are known by their leaders rather than by their manifesto. It is a fact that the popularity of the Congress was mainly due to the leadership of Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and Rajiv Gandhi. Similarly, the AIADMK in Tamil Nadu and TDP in Andhra Pradesh got identified with MG Ramchandran and N.T. Ramarao respectively. Okay, interestingly, several parties bear the name of their leaders like Biju Janata Dal, Lokadal, okay, Congress, and so on. Okay, so hence it is said that there are political personalities rather than political parties in India. Okay, so next one is based on traditional factors. Okay, in the Western countries, the political parties are formed on the basis of socio-economic and political program. On the other hand, a large number of parties in India are formed on the basis of religion, caste, language, culture, race, and so on. Okay, so for example, Shiv Sena, Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, Akali Dal, Muslim Manjils, Gujan Samaj Party, Republican Party in India, um, and so on. Okay, so these parties work for the promotions of communal and sectional interest, and thereby undermine the general public interest. Okay, then next one is emergence of regional parties. Okay, another significant features of the Indian party politics is the emergence of a large number of regional parties in the emergence of a large number of regional parties and their growing role. Okay, so they have become the ruling parties in various states like BJD in Odisha, DMK or AIADMK in Tamil Nadu. Okay, Akali Dal in Punjab, AGP in Assam, National Congress in Jammu and Kashmir, and JDU in Bihar, and so on. Okay, so in the beginning, they were confined to the regional political politics only. Okay, but of late, they have come to play a significant role in the national politics due to coalition's government at the center. In the 1984 elections, the TDP emerged as the largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha. Okay, then next one is factions and defections. Okay, factionalism, defection, splits, mergers, fragmentations, polarizations, and so on have been an important aspect of the functioning of political parties in India. Lost for power and material considerations have made the politicians to leave their party and join another party or start a new party. Okay, so the practices of defections gain greater currency after the fourth general election. So these phenomena cause political instability both at the center and in the state and lead to disintegrations of the parties. Thus, there are two Janata Dals, two TDPs, and two DMKs. Okay, two communist parties, two Congress, three Akali Dal, three Muslim League, and so on. Okay, and next characteristics is lack of effective oppositions. Okay, and effective oppositions is very essential for the successful operations of the parliamentary democracy prevalent in India. Okay, it checks the autocratic tendencies of the ruling party and provides an alternative government. However, in the last 50 years, an effective, strong, organized, and viable national oppositions could never emerge except in places. Okay, the opposition parties have no unity and very often adopt mutually conflicting positions with respect to the ruling party. They have failed to play a constructive role in the functioning of the body politics and in the process of nation building. Okay, so next features, another important characteristics is presence of a recognized oppositions and growing role of parties in oppositions. Okay, so initially when Indian party system was working as a one party dominant multi-party system, lack of an effective opposition was its big weakness. Okay, so in the first four general election, no party other than Congress was in a position to secure 50% seat. Okay, the minimum constitutional requirement for getting the status of the opposition party. Okay, so in 1969, where three occurred a split in the Congress got the status of an opposition party. Okay, but this development was short-lived as in the 1971 elections, the Congress scored a resounding victory, and no other party was in a position to get more than 25 seats. Okay, so the CPM came second to the Congress. Okay, and it had only 25 seats. Okay, in 1974, realizing the need to form a unified opposition, seven political parties combined to form the Bharatiya Lokadal with Chaudhary Charan Singh as its head. Okay, so these are the presence of any recognized oppositions party. Okay, then its next feature is special status of the leader of opposition. Okay, in October 1999, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi got recognitions and status as the leader of opposition. Okay, in June 2009, Mr. L.K. Advani of the BJP again became the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. Okay, under the salary and allowances of leader of oppositions in Parliament Act 1977, the leader of opposition The leader of opposition in each houses of the parliament enjoys a special status. His status is equal to that of a cabinet minister, and he draws the same salary and allowances as are drawn by a cabinet ministers. Okay, an opposition party in India gets its status recognized only when it secures a minimum one-tenth of the total seat of a house. Okay, since 1989, there has been present a recognized oppositions in the Indian political system. However, the role of opposition in India continues to be mostly negative, involving the stalling of working of the parliament even on tribal matters. Okay, so next one is system of registrations of political parties with the election commissions. Okay, so since December 1988, there has been in existence a provision for the registrations of political parties with the election commissions. Okay, by amending the Representations of the People Act 1951, it has been laid down that it is essential for each political party to get itself registered with the election commissions. Okay, a party which fails to get registered is not accepted as a political party. Okay, each new party has to apply for registration within 30 days of its 30 days of its inceptions. Okay, in 1988, the parties which were already in existence were asked to get registered within 60 days of the passing of the act. Okay, a political party has to attach a copy of its constitutions or governing rules along with the application for registrations. Okay. Further, it has to declare its loyalty towards the constitutions of India, socialism, secularism, democracy and sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Okay, such an application has to be filled in by the executive heads of the party within 30 days of the formation of the party. Okay, so the right to grant registrations is with the elections commissions, and in this respect, its decision is always final. After getting registration, a political parties has to intimate to the election commissions and change in its name or place of activity or offense bears or any other major changes in its structures and organizations. Okay, so the elections commission has also been according recognitions to the parties as national level or a state or regional level. Okay, but it can so only when parties satisfy the stipulated conditions. The provisions for registrations have been incorporated for securing an order in the organizations and working of various political parties. At times, the election commissions orders the political parties to complete internal party elections. Okay, so this order binds all political parties. Okay, so next one is large number of regional and local state level political parties. The existence of a large number of regional political parties along with national level political parties is a the reality of modern political system. Such as such a feature is quite natural for a country like India, which is characterized by social pluralism. Okay, so a regional party is one which enjoys its popularity in one or two states. Okay, and is committed to secure the interest of three, vice versa, the union. Okay, so like the DMK and AIADMK and National Conference. Okay, so these are the some regional local status of political parties. The next one is power sharing between national and regional political parties. Okay, so a new development in the Indian political system has been the emergence of a process of power sharing between national and regional parties. Since June 1996, a coalition consists of several regional parties and some national level parties has been ruling at the center. The CPM lead alliances ruled West Bengal for about 35 years. Okay, in February 2007, the BJP and SAD came to power in Punjab and till date continue to rule in Punjab. Okay, so Congress in sharing powers with NCP in Maharashtra and with NC in Jammu and Kashmir during 2004 to 2008. BJD and BJP remain in the ruling alliance in Odisha. Okay, so leaders of regional parties, the leaders of regional parties have started playing an active and even deterministic role in the organizations of the central government. Okay, so between October 1999 to May 2004, 23 political parties exercise political power at the national level. Okay, since May 2004, Congress lead UPA alliance with several regional parties as its partners. Okay, have been exercising power. Okay, at the national level. The outlook of the regional parties now appears to be changing from a confrontationalist, conflictual orientations to a cooperative, competitive, bargaining orientations in respect of the United States relations. Okay, so next one is lack of rigid ideological division among political parties, which is I already discussed that there is except Congress and CPI in many parties there is the absence of any particular ideological uh, dominations. Okay, so next one is existence of some political parties which enjoy the support of several different communities of Indian societies. Some Indian political parties draw their support from among the members of particular communities. Okay, in this view, several of the Indian political parties they call be communist parties, Muslim leagues, Shiv Sena, Republican Party, okay, Hindu Mahasabha, Akali Dal, and so on. Okay, so some critics hold that even BJP is also a communal party because it enjoys the support of mainly 95% of the Hindus. Okay, even DMK and ADMK has been anti-Brahmin parties. Okay, however, each such party participate in the mainstream politics and cannot be termed as communal communist party. All these parties stand registered with the election commission. Okay, so next one is inner factionalism. Okay, factionalism and groups are present in most of the political parties. Internal groupism in Congress has been a recognized feature. Okay, the existing of leftist, rightist, and centralist. Okay, within the Congress has been a historical fact. Okay, it is also true all of all other political parties. Okay, this feature has been mainly responsible for political splits and defections. Okay, so growing owing loyalties to different leaders. Okay, are present in almost every party. Each leader has a group of loyalties. Okay, so so these are the inner factionalism. Okay, next one is personality cult politics. Okay, personality cult politics dominates party politics in India. Okay, especially in India, several political parties stand organized around a leader. Okay, the existence of such political parties like Congress, okay, and Janata Party and AD, okay, Janata Dal, Biju Janata Dal, and others reflect the presence of politics or personality called in Indian political parties. Okay, even the Congress party almost always revolve around the personality of its top leader currently. Okay, it has been a standard practice with the political leaders of India to float their political parties. Okay, often the political scene witness the rise of group loyal to different leaders and loyalties towards the leaders enjoy precedence over loyalty towards the party or the ideology. The leader of such party behaves like a queen bee. Okay, so next one is lack of internal democracy in several political parties. Okay, most of the parties in India do not have democratically organized structure. Theoretically or legally, most of the political parties turned organized in a democratic way. But in practice, the top leaders or the party elites dominates the setup. Okay, party elections are rarely held. Okay, political parties hold their state level and national level convention and conferences. But in this also the leaders or the um, dominants leaders dominate the proceedings. Okay, the principles of one leader, one office is advocated but rarely followed. Even the political parties which are actors in the democratic process are undemocratic in their internal working. Okay, so this is as much true of the Congress party, of the CPM, CPI, and the BJP. Okay, so next one is weak party discipline. Okay, sorry. So lack of discipline among the party members is again a sad reality of political party system. The party members do not hesitate to become rebel whatever they find decisions unacceptable. Okay, so in election, the descendants or the rebels even oppose and contest election against the officially sponsored party candidates. Okay, the party discipline is at times enforced and it takes the form of suspensions or removal from membership of the rebels or descendants for a period of 6 years or so. Okay, but such rebels descendants are in a positions of course after some times either to return to the party or in causing a split in the party or in joining another party which is even opposed to their present party. Okay, so lack of party discipline has been a source of defection, split, nationalism, groupism, and political turn locations in Indian politics. Okay, so next one is reveal cases of political defections. The evil of defection in the form of floor crossing after winning elections on particular party tricks has been present in the Indian political system. Okay, it came to be the standard practice of the descendants, particularly after the formal general elections, which is held in 1967. Okay, so post 1967 years witnessed the emergence of the era of Aya Rams and Gaya Rams. Okay, in Indian politics, defections can be described as an undemocratic. Okay, practices as it involves a branch of trust. Okay, on the part of an elected representative who, after getting elected on a particular party ticket, decides to change his party loyalty and join another party for securing a breath in the ministry or for causing a fall of the ministry or for his selfish petty political and financial gains. Okay, So at the time of March 1977 election, the Janata Party selfish, pretty political and finance. Janata Party declared in its election manifesto that a legal remedy shall be provided against defection. In March 1978, it sponsored an anti-defection bill, but it failed to get the approval of the Lok Sabha. Okay, so in July 1979, the Janata Party had to resign from power due to defection. Okay, so on the eve of January 1980 election, the defection reappeared in large numbers. In Haryana, the Chief Minister S.A. Bhajan Lal, along with his entire ministry, defected to the Congress. Okay, so between 1980 to 1983, defection kept the Indian political parties in a state of flex. Okay, so in January 1985, the evil practices of defections was thought to be buried through the enactment of the 52nd Amendment Act. Okay, after its amendment, the evil practice of defection suffered a decline. However, even this act provided for a qualified defection. Okay, insofar as it admitted that a mass defections involving at least one third of the member of a party who decide to form a new party or join hands with the parties in the political process was to be called a split and not a defection, and hence was to be legal and valid. Okay, so the presence of factions and groups within every party, the personality called politics, the presence of political corruptions, lack of ideological differences among the parties, and the existence of several political parties all combine to form an environment in which politics of defections in the name of splits continues to remain present. Okay, even the latest amendment of the act has not totally eliminated the menace of political defections. Okay, Haryana can be quoted as an example. Okay, so next one is large number of independent contestants in elections. Okay, so another features which has been bear on the working of Indian party system can be described as the presence of a large number of independent candidates in the election. Okay, the political parties have to meet the challenge posed by the locally popular independent candidates who are contesting election from various constituencies. Okay, the Constitution grants to the citizen the right to contest elections, and in actual practice, a large number of candidates came forward to utilize these rights. Okay, so in 1952 elections, the independent candidates bagged 20% votes and secured 42 seats in the Lok Sabha and 414 seats in various state legislative assemblies. Okay, so next one is politics of populism. Okay, among the all political parties adopt and follow populist policies and raise populist slogans for securing their vote banks. Okay, the party in power uses its power of policy making for attracting votes. Okay, then Yojana, waiving of loan power to the people, increased reservations, vote for Mandir, protections of Pantha. Okay, protections of interest of minorities, Garibi Hatao, fair water, free electricity. Okay, so etc. are used to elections year slogan and for and they use this slogan for securing votes. Okay, so in 1995, the Telugu Deshan Party won a thumping majority in election to the state legislative assembly by promising to sell their rice, okay, and to eliminate uh, mm, poverty. Okay, so exploitations of caste, religion, linguistic, and regional interest in unscriptural practices by almost all political parties for securing votes. Okay, so these are the different techniques, or these are the different tactics which is followed by the different political parties to secure vote. Okay, the next one is resort to direct action of extra constitutional means. A political party is an organization of people committed to secure power through peaceful and constitutional means, as well as to use power for the promotions of national interest. Okay. However, in India, all the political parties have been using strike, घेराव, band, boycott, passive resistance, etc., direct actions and pressures meant to for securing party gain. Okay, so during elections, some of these even resort to malpractices like booth capturing, post voting, threats of liquidations, poll violence. Okay, these are the some foreseeable preventions from voting. Okay, the practice of forming militant brigades reflects also the presence of violence in party politics and electoral process. Okay, or electoral politics. Next one is politics of opportunistic alliances. Okay, political parties often resort to unprincipled electoral alliances and coalitions for securing short-term gain. Okay, next, during elections, almost all the political parties enter into unprincipled alliances. Okay, they do not hesitate to enter into electoral alliances with communal parties. During November 1989, October 1990, the Janata Dal remained in power with the support from outside of two dramatically opposed political parties, the leftist parties like CPI and CPM, and the rightist party like the BJP. Okay, in November 1990, the Janata Dal, led by Charan Shekhar, did not refrain from getting the support of the Congress from outside, despite the fact that its leader and contested 1989 election on anti-Congress plan. Okay, so left parties like CPI and CPM have been aligned with castic political group. Okay, so the BJP has been in alliance with the SAD in Punjab. Okay, so the Congress supported the United from outside government during 1996 to 1998. Okay, so in this way, our leftist and rightist parties make different types of alliances with other political parties. Okay, the next is birth of era of coalition politics. So the era of coalition politics, please mute your phone. Debasis Sahu, am I audible to you? Debasis Sahu, Debasis Sahu. So, birth of the era of coalition politics. The era of coalition politics has arrived in Indian politics since 1996. Coalition government have been in power at the center and in several states. Okay, so between October 1999 to May 2004, the center was ruled by the BJP-led National Democratic Alliances. West Bengal remained under the rule of the left on for more than 3 decades. Between 1998 to 2000, Haryana was ruled by INLD, okay, with the BJP's support. In Punjab, SAD BJP alliance remained in power between 1997 to 2002 in power and has been gained in power since May 2007. Okay, so Congress NCP has been ruling Maharashtra. Okay, the age of coalition politics, which can be described as the natural outflow of a multi-party system, has definitely arrived in the Indian political system. Okay, so the ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th Lok Sabha were um, huge houses or no party alliances got a majority in this. Okay, this lead to the drawn of coalition politics or coalition government. Okay, in October 1999 Lok Sabha elections, the National Dominance Alliance, that is BJP plus 23 other parties, got a majority and formed the government on 13th October 1999. Okay, so NDA came into being a pre-election coalition and got the opportunity to rule the country. Okay, in May 2004, NDA coalition rule got replaced by the UPA coalition rule. In May 2009, Congress led UPA coalition again came to power. Several states of India have been consistently living with coalition government after having lived with the CPM-led left front rule for 35 years. In 2011, this state came to have the rule of TMC Congress coalition. It is now almost certain that coalition government will continue to rule India in the days to come. Okay, so these are the some common characteristics of political parties, okay, or party systems. So now we will discuss about what are the functions of political parties. Okay, so what does a political party do? Basically, political party fill political offices and exercise political power. Okay, so parties do so by performing a series of functions. Okay, what are the functions? First one is contesting elections. Okay, parties contest election. In most democratic elections are fought mainly parties put forward different political mainly for the vote. Okay, so next one is parties put forward different policies and program, and the voters choose from them. Each of us may have different opinion and views on what policies are suitable for the society, but no government can handle such a large variety of view. Okay, in a democracy, a large number of similar opinions have to be grouped together to provide a directions in which policies can be formulated by the government. Okay, so this is what the parties do. A party reduces a vast multitude of options into a few basic positions, which it supports. A government is expected to base its policies on the line taken by the responsive taken by the different responsive political parties. Okay, the next one is parties play a decisive role in making laws for a country. Okay, formally laws are debated and passed in the legislature, but since most of the members belongs to a party, they got by directions of the party leadership irrespective of their personal opinions. Okay, next one is parties forms and runs government. Okay, we as we noted from the previous year, the big policy decisions are taken by political executive that comes from the political parties. Okay, so parties always run the government. Okay, next one is those parties that loss in or lose in the election, okay, by the they lead the role of opposition, okay, to the parties in power by voicing or different views and criticize government for its failure or wrong policies, okay. This is the role of opposition party. Opposition parties always mobilize opposition to the government, okay. Next one is parties shape public opinion. Okay, they raise and highlight issue. Parties have lakhs of members and activists spread all over the country. So many of the pressure groups are the extensions of political parties among different sections of societies. Parties sometimes also launch movements for the resolutions of problems faced by people. Okay, often opinion in the society crystallize on the lines parties tax. Okay, so next one is parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare scheme. Okay, so implemented by governments. Okay, for an ordinary citizen, it is easy to approach a local party leader that a government officers or that is why they feel close to parties even when they do not fully trust them. Okay, so uh, mm, parties have to be responsive to people needs and demands, otherwise people can reject those parties in the next elections. Okay, so these are the some basic functions of political parties. Okay, so now we will discuss about recognitions of national and state parties. Okay, so the election commissions registers political parties for the purposes of elections and grants them recognitions as national and state parties on the basis of their poll performance. Okay, so the other parties are simply declared as registered unrecognized parties. Okay, so the recognized granted by the commissions to the parties determines their right to certain privileges like allocations of the party symbols, provisions of the time for political broadcast on the state-owned television and radio stations and access to electoral rolls. Okay. Next, further, the recognition parties need only one prosper for filling the nominations. Okay. Also, these parties are allowed to have 40 star campaigners. Okay. During the time of elections, and the registered unrecognized parties are allowed to have 20-star campaigners. Okay, so travel expenses of these star campaigners are not included in the election expenditure of the candidate of their parties. Okay, so every national party is allotted a symbol exclusively reserved for this for its use throughout the country. Okay, similarly, every state party is allotted a symbol exclusively reserved for its use. Okay, in the state or states. Okay, in which it is so recognized. The next, a registered unrecognized party, on the other hand, can select a symbol from a list of three symbols. In other words, the commission specifies certain symbols as reserved symbols, which are meant for the candidates set up by the recognized parties, and other as free symbols, which are meant for other candidates. Okay, so first, we will discuss about conditions for recognition as a national party. Okay, so as per 2016, a party is recognized as a national party if any of the following condition is fulfilled. So, what are the conditions? First one is if it secures 6% of the valid votes polled in any four or more state in a general election to the Lok Sabha or to the legislative assembly. Okay, and in addition, it win 4 seat in the Lok Sabha from any state or states. Okay, this is the first conditions. Then second conditions, if it wins 2% of seat in the Lok Sabha at a general election, and these candidates are elected from 3 states, or next one is if it is recognized as a state party in 4 states. So these are the specific conditions for recognized as a national party. Okay. So the next one is conditions for recognized as a state party. Okay. So what are the conditions are mentioned in our constitutions for recognitions of a state party? Okay. At present, that means 2016, a party is recognized as a state party in a state if any of the following conditions are fulfilled. Okay. So what are the conditions? First one is if it secured 6% of the valid votes poll in the state at a general elections to the legislative assembly of the state concerned, and in addition to wins 2 seats in the assembly of the state concerned. Okay, then next one is if it secures 6% of the valid votes polled in the state at a general election to the Lok Sabha from the state concerned, and in addition it wins a 1 seat in the Lok Sabha from the state concerned. Okay, next one is if it win the 3% of the seat in the legislative assembly at a general election to the legislative assembly of the state concerned, or 3 seat in the assembly, whichever is more. Okay, the next conditions is if it wins 1 seat in the Lok Sabha for every 25 seats or any fraction thereof allotted to the state at a general election to the Lok Sabha from the state concerned. Okay, the next one is if it secures 8% of total valid votes polled in the state at a general election to the Lok Sabha from the state or to legislative assembly of the state. Okay, this condition was added in 2011. Okay, so these are the some specific conditions for recognitions as a state party. Okay, so the number of recognized parties keep on changing on the basis of their performance in the general elections. Okay, so on the eve of the 16th Lok Sabha general election 2014, there were 6 national parties and 47 state parties, and 1593 register on unrecognized parties in the country. Okay, that means in India. Okay, the national parties and state parties are also known as all India parties or regional parties respectively. Okay, so these are the some conditions for recognitions as a national party or state party. Okay, so now we will discuss about towards fragmentations of state party in 1989 onwards. Okay, so the party system at both level, national and state, moved towards a fragmentation from the late 1980s, or more particularly from the 1990. Okay, whatever the features of this fragmentary system at the national level, there has been an end of the one party dominance and the movement towards a multi-party system. As you have read earlier, that this trend started in 1967 at the state level. However, the system has existed in the state are different from the national level. Okay, so many states have moved towards a two-party system, and probably this is the most important feature of party competitions at the state level. Okay, so at the national level, since the 1990s, the competitions has narrowed down to two different alliances. Okay, one lead by the BJP and the other lead by the Congress. Okay, so at the state level, the competing parties differ from state to state, but in most of the state, it is a two-party system. Okay, so in many states, it is multi-party system where the importance contenders are the Congress, the BJP, and state or regional parties. Okay, so in some of the states, the competition is primarily between state or regional parties, so national parties also occupy a significant space in those states. Okay, now let us turn to the reason behind the emergence of this kind of system in the states. Okay, so there are multiple causes, but the most important of them are the decline of the Congress. Okay, in the states, the spectacular growth of the BJP, particularly in the Hindi-hearted and some other states, and thirdly, the growth to prominence of regional and state parties. Okay, as mentioned, as I already discussed, that trends had started before. 1990s. Okay, let's have a brief look of all these developments which proceed trends of the 1990s in brief, and then turn to the silent features of the party system that have emerged in the state since 1989. Okay, although the Congress party had started declining since the late 1960 in the states, this decline became much more prominent in the late 1980s. We have seen earlier that the Congress had enjoyed dominance at the state level for more than 2 decades, gradually started declining after the death of Nehru. Okay, so the decline of Congress became more spectacular after Indira Gandhi assumed the leadership of the party. So there are numerous explanations for this. Okay, so it is true that the party ability to mobilize voter at the lower level during the elections, okay, whether at the state assembly or at the parliamentary election, declined significantly in the late 1980s and the 1990s. Okay, thus the Congress became a much reduced force at the state level since the late 1980s. Okay, so the share of votes and seats the Congress captured in the Lok Sabha and more particularly in the assembly election in the states sharply declined in the last decade of the 20th century. Okay, so its performance in the assembly elections in some of the prominent states will help illustrate the point. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, the biggest of the Indian states, the Congress remained a much reduced force with its vote shares declining from 15.08% in 1993 to 8.96% in 2002. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh, the largest of South Indian state, the Congress returned to power in 1989, but it lost in the 1994 election and remained in opposition till of 2004. Okay, so in Bihar, the votes of the percentage of the Congress slumped from 24.78% in 1990s to 11.06% in 2002, and seats from 71 to 23. Okay, in the same period. Okay, similarly in Maharashtra, it lost its hegemony in the 1990s completely. Okay, so in 1990, it secured 38.17% votes and one uh, 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 and in 1990 it secures 38.17% votes and 141 seats, but this dropped to 27.20 percentage votes and 75 seats in 1999. Okay, so in Tamil Nadu, the Congress had lost its dominance position much earlier to the two regional forces, the DMK and the ADMK. Similarly, in West Bengal, its decline was much more rapid in the late 1990s due to the split and the subsequent formations of the Trinamool Congress. Okay, in the 2001 elections, it could merge only 7.98% vote and 26 seats against 39.45% votes and 82 seats in 1996. Okay, so the expansions of the BJP in recent times has been much more dramatic than the decline of the Congress. Okay, the expansion has mainly been due to the decline of the Congress. The aggressive mobilization strategy based around the ideology of Hindutva, okay, which it adopted from the late 1980s, and its strategy of alliance formations. At the national level, in the Lok Sabha, it increased its seat from a 2 in 1984 to 182 seat in the 1998 elections that capture um, uh, that capture a significant positions. Okay, so however, this onwards march of BJP was held in the 2004 general elections. It establishes dominance in 2014 and 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Okay, in this assembly election, the performance of the BJP in the Lok Sabha in the year 1990 was equally spectacular. It increased its share of votes and seats in some of the prominent Indian states. Okay, in Bihar, it increased its shares of seats from 39 and votes from 11.61 in 1990s to 14.64 percent of votes and 67 seats in 2000. Okay, so in this way, the percentage is increasing. Okay, so the Akali Dal also formed a government in the state of Punjab in 1997 along with ally, okay, the BJP. Thus, these parties were increasingly successful at the national and state level in the year 1990. Okay, so in this way, different parties raise in a different page. Okay, so these are the some basic structures or basic party dominance or state party dominance, national party dominance during their different pages. Okay, so this is all about from political party and party systems. So now if you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, no doubt. So this is all about from today's class, and thank you.